What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another movie review. The movie I want to take a look at right now is Being the Ricardos. Now, this one's actually in select theaters right now, but it hits Amazon Prime Video December 21st. So this one follows Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz as they face a crisis that could end their careers and another that could end their marriage. So, going into this, there's a lot of things in my mind going into this. I love Lucy when I watched it on TV Land back in the day. I grew up in a household where my father is a humongous Andy Griffith show fan, so that was playing, and then whatever was book ended before that or after that. Sometimes my brother and I would catch like Leave It to Beaver, The Brady Bunch, Beverly Hillbillies, I Love Lucy, all those TV shows from that era we were exposed to. And I remember enjoying it. But I had no idea what was going on outside of that TV show. Because I knew like Desi and Lucy were a thing. And I heard that it was always rocky. When it was good, it was good. When it was bad, it was bad. But I didn't know to what extent their marriage was beyond what we saw on screen. So any type of movie that would focus on that, I was down for. And it's written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. I like me some Aaron Sorkin. Movies that he directs, little iffy on. So I like most of the things that he writes. But for some weird reason, when he directs a movie, I feel like he sprints at the very start of all of his movies. And it's like the runner just gets tired and is just kind of limping towards the finish line. And it doesn't really have the same impact as it does when it starts. It just kind of flails out and it just feels kind of half-baked. It's the way I felt. That's the way I have felt on all of his directed movies. So, I was hopeful because I'm like, I'll give the guy three strikes and you're out type of deal. Nicole Kidman, Javier Bardem taking on two of the most iconic people in television history with Aaron Sorkin. Yeah, sign me up. So I saw it. Once again, it is a half-baked experience. I will say story-wise, this one was more intriguing than Molly's Game. So I will give Aaron Sorkin that. I think combining the crisis that could end their career with Lucy being accused as a communist in the papers, and then another one that could end their marriage with like Desi going behind her back and sleeping with other women. That stuff is interesting. It is definitely like it keeps you hook, line, and sinker throughout most of the film, right? Even till the very end, I was like, I know this is going to end very, very badly for them, but I want to see how this plays out. This is really interesting stuff to have both of these kind of collide and go on at the same time. So I will give them credit that the story itself is interesting to a degree, and I was riveted by their lives that were entangled in the show and the face they had to put on in front of the audience. And then as soon as they go back to their dressing rooms, it's like they break down and like they start fighting or this and that. It's just like it's really emotionally heavy stuff. So I'm just trying to get all the good stuff out of the way first before start diving into other stuff. So I'll give Sorkin credit on the script in that regard. Good stuff. I think it ends abruptly. Now, like the story is interesting for the 2 hours that is on screen. It is 2 hours, right? Yes. But it kind of just ends. And I felt like we watched like a really good first act, pretty good second act, and like half of a third act, and then just cuts to black and then the credits roll. It was a very, very abrupt ending. It completed the story that we were watching, but the way it just kind of, the last shot that was happening and then the text that comes on, it's just like, all this stuff is happening for 2 hours, and then it's just like, well, and then this happened the next day, but that's about it. Goodbye. It's just, I don't know. I hated the way it just kind of abruptly just kind of stopped like that and was just like, yep, we're good. I think we told enough. So I hate it in that regard, but And then directing wise, Aaron Sorkin made some weird choices. As far as the actual structure of the story and just like, setting up scenes, blocking them, and letting the performers kind of, do their thing, I think he does a decent job with that. This is more about his choices as a director to enhance the story. There are interviews in this film that are one of the most annoying inserts I've seen in a film in quite some time. So the film opens with 3 people that are in the movie, but they're playing themselves. So they're like, Lucy and Desi's relationship was crazy. Like, on set, you never know what they were going to do and all that stuff. And like, okay, if you want to start your movie out like that, that's fine. But then once the movie starts, do not cut back to them. He cuts back to them with no relevance or context. It's just kind of like the scene will happen with Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem, and then it'll cut to an interview shot with the real person, only to have them go, yeah, that situation was crazy. And then that's it. Adds no substance to it. Just kind of like, and then it cuts back. So I think just scrapping the whole interviews in general was probably the best idea. Like, please take that out. Like, it's not like, it's 30 minutes of the film or the runtime. I think it's like maybe 5 to 6 minutes tops. But every time when you insert that and you go back to them, back and forth with them, it feels so weird. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't add any type of extra context to anything. It's just kind of like a reaction, and it's just very strange. So I thought that was very weird. And then, like I said, the ending. So it was mainly just that. But yeah, it was just really annoying. It's just like the first thing that popped in my head was just like, why did he do that as I was watching it? So another thing I think Sorkin did wrong, and I won't blame him 100%, but I'm assuming since he is Aaron Sorkin, he has some say in it, and it's not just the casting director. I think everyone was miscast in this movie. In terms of the main 4 that we see on the show and the ones that we follow in the movie. I like Nicole Kidman quite a bit. I like Javier Bardem quite a bit. They don't fit these roles whatsoever. And it's not just that they don't look like them. They are so big as an actor and actress. Like, they're A-list. It's distracting. Like, they never sink. I never thought they sunk into their roles. I was just seeing them trying to do an impersonation. And Nicole Kidman's Lucy, like, on the show, it was bad. I didn't like it whatsoever. It's very hard to explain, but I felt like she was trying too hard, and like it was just really stretching a Lucy impression. I just yeah, it was something to behold. Now, when she was in some of the scenes that were not on the show, like, and she was like Lucille Ball, like interacting with the executives or Desi or whatever, like, she was fine. Javier Bardem, I think, is the best out of the 2. I think he's the best out of the 4. But even he just, I think, like I said, they're just so big in terms of their exposure that I never thought they sunk into their characters. I just saw them, if that makes any sense. And then the 2 that play, let me get the names correct here, Vivian and Bill, J.K. Simmons and Nina Arianda. I mean, I guess Nina did okay. J.K. Simmons, why was he cast in that role? It just, all 4 of them just feel like they were last minute picks, and they're like, oh, we got to fill the spots for these movies, and they just picked like 4 of the most like talked about people right now, and they just stuck them in there like, oh, this will work. I never believed it once. I was just like, I'm just seeing J.K. Simmons in, like, I think a fat suit. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but the casting in this movie did not do it for me. Yeah, it was just kind of weird. Production design, quite nice. Cinematography, quite nice. I really felt like we were in that time period. I just love the production design, the costuming, and the grainy look to it. And then every time when there was a black and white set piece, and a color version of the life outside of the set, all that visually was wonderful. And the makeup and hairstyling was also fantastic. They did the best they could to make Nicole Kidman look like Lucille Ball. And I have to give this movie props on production design and makeup and hairstyling first and foremost. If there's any type of awards consideration, it is for those two things, which I'm okay with. That was all. It was all visually pleasing. So definitely had some Mank vibes, and that came out last year. So yeah, I love any type of old Hollywood looking movies, and so this one doesn't disappoint in that department. I don't know what else more to say. If you like Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, and like you like I Love Lucy and all the history behind it, I think you'll probably enjoy it more than me. I just think from a filmmaking perspective, there was just a lot of bumps in the road that I can't say this was a 100% smooth ride, because it was not. I'd say it's about 50-50. There's a lot of good things about it. There's a lot of questionable things and bad things about it. So I'm kind of down the middle with it. But I would say if you are a fan of these two people and their lives and like the show and just the history behind it, and just want to see something that is a different take on Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, I'd say go for it. I have no desire to watch it again. Yeah. So I know it's a lot to kind of unload on you guys, but it is what it is. So that will be my review. Be in the Ricardos. Let me know down below what you thought of the movie, whether you loved it, hated it, liked it, all that stuff. Tell me that I'm wrong. I would love to hear from someone that loved the movie. I really would. But for me, it was a very kind of cold depiction of Lucille Ball. And I realized that her and Desi had problems in their marriage beyond the show. I'm not saying you have to make this movie 100% happy, go. But man, for someone that brought so much just energy and life and fulfillment to people, to focus all this on like just very, I don't know, depressing stuff. It really, I don't know. It didn't feel like it did her justice. It felt like it was a half-baked attempt we could have those elements in there, but like, I don't know, just show more. So I don't know. That was just kind of my viewpoint on it. I don't know. It's a very, very weird experience. So, yeah, so let me know down below if you loved it. I would like to just read your response, and you can tell me off. It's all good. But I want to know people's perspectives on it for sure. So that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.